everybody. Today we're going to take just a couple of minutes, maybe 2 or 3, and we're going to talk about Medicare Part D. So this is just a discussion of how Medicare Part D works, and we're going to specifically look at 2026. So this isn't getting into plans or anything like that. You know, obviously your specific situation will vary based on medicines you're taking, pharmacy you use, all of that. We're just going to talk about how does the Medicare Part D program work, what are the 2026 numbers and information that we need to know, kind of break that down. So Medicare Part D, do think D for drugs, okay? That is the prescription drug side of Medicare. So this is the piece that covers prescriptions that you're going to the pharmacy to pick up. So there is a deductible. That deductible in 2026 is $615. Not spell that right. So $615. So this is typically going to be on most Medicare prescription drug plans. Not all of them. And some of them you don't pay that until you start getting into like tier 3 or higher medicines. And when I say that, what I mean is like name brand. So your generics may not trigger that deductible, but there is a $615 deductible in 2026 for Medicare Part D. That's the maximum. No plan can charge more than that. They can charge less. So again, most do charge something, but some do even charge less than that. So there's also a maximum. And again, in 2026, that maximum is $2,100. So basically what that means is you cannot spend more than $2,100 out of your own pocket on your medicines in a calendar year. If you hit that number, the next time you go to your pharmacy to pick up your medicines, your drugs are going to be no cost. So now that is only true of drugs on your formulary, okay? Formulary is just a fancy word for the list of covered medicines. So as long as your medicines are on your plan's formulary or list of covered drugs, the cost of those is going to go towards that maximum. And if you hit that number in a year, again, you're going to be done paying. It will not include any medicines not on your formulary or not on the list of medicines that are covered. So that deductible is part of your maximum. These are not two separate things. You don't have to pay that and then this. Built into that $2,100 is going to be your $615 deductible or less if there is a lower deductible. So these are two very important numbers to keep in mind for 2026. There are many plans. They all have different formularies. One thing you need to know is no one plan or company covers every medicine on the market. It just doesn't exist. So that's why knowing your current list of medications is always critical so that we can make sure we're looking at not only your medicines, but also your pharmacy. Some are more Medicare friendly than others. Some work better with these plans than others. So that combination of your preferred pharmacy and your medicines is really going to tell us, out of all those plans available to you, which is going to be your best option. I tell clients all the time, I'm not interested in your cheapest plan. I want your least expensive. That's a big distinction. Okay, it may not seem like it, but you might pay more for a plan, but you end up paying less for your drugs. It covers your medicines better. So then in the course of a year, you pay less. And that's what we mean by least expensive. So key things to keep in mind, these are prescription medications. What you are not going to find on almost any formulary, compounded medicines. You know, a lot of those specialized, made for you, typically they're hormones or things similar to that. Those are not going to be covered. Those are so uniquely made to each individual person, you're not going to find compound medicines covered. Supplements, vitamins, for the most part, those are not going to be covered. Medicare does not allow over-the-counter medications to be covered on the prescription drug plans. Now, I say that there are a couple of exceptions to that, but not many, okay? So typically you're not going to have things like vitamins, supplements, compounded medications, alternative medications. Those are generally not going to be covered. These are pretty much your generic and name brands, and that's what's available through the pharmaceutical companies. Now, they do have some pretty strict rules. Keep in mind they can't only cover generics or only cover name brands. Medicare requires them to have a holistic coverage on their formulary of both generics and name brands. They have to offer multiple medicines for the same, what they call therapeutic category. So things like diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, They can't just cover one medicine, they have to cover multiple to make sure that there is a range of options available to you. So this is why that end of the year review during our annual enrollment period is also so important, not only when you first get enrolled into Medicare, looking at that current list, but recognizing your list of medicines could change. What you were taking initially, you might not take anymore. You might have gotten off of some medicines, or you might be taking new medications, or a new health condition has come up that could come with new medicines. So that annual enrollment period that starts in October 15th through December 7th each year, this is one of the key pieces that we can look at for you. If you haven't had any changes, if the plans haven't changed a lot, probably good for you to keep what you have. But that's a good time to review things and just make sure that you are in the best option for you for that next year. So this is again 2026, deductible $615, $2,100 max out of pocket. We'll love to help you walk through finding the best plan for you, making sure it's the right fit for this year. So thanks so much. See you later.